The delight in which you trick nature and the wind and the breeze is so intringent in the delight, and we cannot see the silk in which you turn and twist your hands, and the rings in which the voice sings, and in the same conspiracy of how you think in contamination, the contamination of all that is negative, or the delight, the deception, or of what you cannot see, the intrinsic delight of being who you are, where you are at the time you are. You cannot find who you are when you are, but there is a way in which you can fathom the depth in which you have in your heart and your confidence in the delight in which you can see that I cannot see, the twist and the turn and the tangent of your turning, and the delight in which you use your hands and manipulate the paint to your eyes, and the delight of many, many, many moons, and which you can look back in the time we have now and say, and as you discover what we see in everything that you can do. There is a way in which you can find things in the delight of who you truly are, and define in so much of refinement to the conspiracy of what is in your heart, the lack of confidence, and to define everything in such an intrinsic way and the polite way in which you indelibly try to find the right brush and the right paint in which to stroke the sheet, and in every stroke you make less and less white, more color, to the light of your eye. I can refine everything that you're going to do in some way, in a various different twists and turns in your imagination, and the delight in which you do. The portion, the stroke of each brush, the flick of each pen, and the recital delight in which you do. It is a challenge in which you don't know what you're going to do, when and how. Unpredictable, and unpredictable you have a delight in knowing what to say, what to do. And it's not as easy as you might find to stand here and try to find and refine exactly what you're going to do, because I don't want to take for granted all the polite things that you try. To each brush stroke, the color, to refine, thrust, violent, turn, twist, turn, push, burn, the yellow, the orange, the brush, the canvas, and the sound. And it's not easy to know and understand exactly who you are, because you don't look like the person who would paint such a great delight in which you can even fathom. We twist and we turn, and the delight, and each color you choose, each color you use, and there will never be a known way in which you can fight the time, in which you can say everything. But in the mind you can feel and you can see better without seeing. And in the conspiracy of knowing what to say when, I don't know what to say, but I see better without seeing you. And I can imagine what you can try to paint, because in your imagination I can try to be at one with you and be polite and not trying to think of what you're trying to think. And in the day you might be thinking of what you might be doing in the night. And although the birds and the seas and all the nature seems to come together, it's not a lie. It's not a lie at all to see the truth in which you paint. And it's polite not to say what you're trying to think. In the conspiracy of everything you're trying to do, the lack of confidence and in the confidence that you do. We can try, and we can always have people who do not like and like what we do. And we can try to fathom and even conspire what we can do next in the day that we have now. And in the day that we have now, I can probably see better with my eyes closed and imagine what you're trying to paint and feeling what you're trying to paint. And the words will flow more easier and be more concentrated rather than look at you and try to figure out what you're trying to paint anyway. It feels and sounds more better to hear what you're painting rather than see what you're painting. And the words flow better in my imagination. I can feel the strokes, even if you can't choose what you're choosing. The feel of what you're painting is more better in my mind, and then when I open my eyes, I hope that it's exactly what I see. But I know what you look like and what you feel what I tried to feel, and the brush, and then hearing what you're trying to paint, I probably see it better. There's movement, violent, fast and forward. You're trying to think what to paint next and how to flow with me, and we flowing with you. I will repeat the same thing, perhaps, but maybe not. But in doing so, I found your painting so illustrative in emotion. And I open my eyes and I see that it's more amazing than what I could imagine, really. I am the artist, you are the poet. The colours and the white disappears under the colours. Few more dabs, few more jabs, and you'll look back on this painting in many, many years and think back to the time when you first discovered a new defined vision. The feel, the sound, even the music in our mind is in balance, is in tangent with what you're trying to say, with words, with paintings. And how many minutes, how many hours? Minutes make hours. With each stroke, yellow. Defined, refined. It's not as easy as you might think standing there on your own with Miss Me and you. I'll never take for granted how easy it is or hard it is to do what you do. God, that sounds better rehearsed. In the minutes, in amazing minutes, refined, and the painting is almost amazingly colourful. And the music behind seems to go with exactly what you're trying to feel, say. The jazz and the feel and the flow of what you're doing, and the rhythm and the sound and the painting all coming together in the decision that you've made from the beginning. The painting is complete, incomplete, and you never know when to end and how to begin in your beginning. That's more difficult than it is.